Hello, everybody. My name is Alexandra with This is Improv, and welcome to another episode of Talk About It Tuesday, where we talk about the arts and the people who love them. I am here with the amazing, the incredible, the effervescent Dylan.
Oh my God. I don't deserve that, but I appreciate it.
Everyone deserves a couple adjectives every now and then, you know.
You know what? Yeah, I'm going to start using that.
Yeah. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. Do you want the long story or the short story?
Whatever story feels right.
Okay. So I am from Central Florida. I've done improv since 2015. I fell in love with that art form. I'm a big music lover. I collect vinyl records, like old school stuff. I don't like any of the new school stuff.
Nice.
But yeah, that's me. I love to eat. I love to travel.
That's dope. Awesome. Well, good thing you love to eat because
Taco about it.
yeah. Let's talk about your journey into improv. What started you wanting to do that at all?
So I think it started when I was younger. Like when I was in about fourth grade, I realized I was the class clown. My mom and I would watch SNL and we would watch like Jay Leno and Jimmy Fallon, things like that. And I was always thinking to myself, like, I'm gonna be on that show eventually, but I'll get there. So in 2015, I kind of hit a hard like rut in my life. And I reevaluated what I wanted to do, and comedy was one of them. So I stumbled upon classes, took the classes, and then from there it was like, no, this is what I want to do. It brings you so much joy and so much life, to just get to play with people.
It's true. A lot of our students are saying how therapeutic it was. And when we were training, it's like, it was the same thing. I walked in not being very good at facial expressions, not being very good with like movement or anything. I was just loud, like that's all. And then eventually our teachers were saying, we're not going to move on until Alexandra starts doing what everyone else is doing. And I was like, oh man, I'm the problem. Okay. And then
it's so crazy how you just adapt to that though. Like you give into it one time and then it's like, oh, I am a natural at this. Yeah. Everybody's such a natural at improv. It's just a matter of getting out of that comfort zone for the first time.
Right. And then life kind of becomes a game. Like Angelica and I, since we live together, we'll go back and forth constantly over dinner, over anything. And then you see our parents go, oh my God, they're at it again.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, it's kind of in your blood. So when you did improv, did you originally start doing stuff with a troupe right away, or when did you develop subject to change?
So we started as an individual. I started at SAC Comedy Lab, and I took all of their courses, levels 1 through 4. I did their rookie Rumble program, and I was kind of trying to find troops and people that you click with, and sometimes it just falls through.
Yeah.
In 2016, there's a group down here called the Improvengers in Central Florida. They asked me to come play with them at MegaCon, which was a great experience, and they're a great group. So we played with them, and then just kind of by doing jams and figuring out who you like and who you don't like, you just find people and you kind of collect them as you go.
Like speed dating, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nobody wanted to go out with me until 2019.
Oh,
but 2019, we found like the group that we wanted to be a part of, and some of us were ensemble members at SAC, and some of us were just people we've just clicked with. And we started, and then pandemic. So
right, of course.
After the pandemic, right. I was getting inspired again. So I called a local art center and I said, hey, do you guys do improv here? Said, yeah, you're on the schedule. And I was like, whoa, that's how easy it is. Nice. So from that point, it was like, okay, I guess we got to grind. We got to build the social media. We got to find permanent members. We really got to practice. So August of last year was the real start of Subject to Change, and it's just been rolling ever since.
Now, where'd you get the name Subject to Change?
So we were formerly called A Big To Do.
Nice.
But 3 of our members moved, so it didn't feel right to keep the name. And we were struggling to find a name, and I was listening to the Foo Fighters, which is my favorite band. And there's a line in the song where Dave Grohl says, lately I've been subject to change. And I was like, that's it. That is it. It's a perfect scenario for scenes, for people who come in and out of your group.
Yeah.
just life in general, everything's subject to change. So
I love it. That's
yeah.
awesome. So you guys teach classes?
Yeah, we're actually teaching classes here at the Gateway Center for the Arts on Tuesday nights. Our students are wonderful. They're so funny, so like we talked about, just naturally talented. Like it blows my mind to watch them do improv, and it's
Yeah.
very inspiring to watch your students just within 2 weeks just blossom and be something. It's
Oh
crazy,
yeah.
but it's so cool.
I've had parents drop off their kids like, oh man, I don't know, watch her. She gets really nervous. She's super shy. Within 2 seconds, I had a student like take her shoes off. She had her socks on like the rest of the girls and was just like doing cartwheels around the area. And I'm like, I don't know what you saw, but I saw a totally different kid in there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We have a student, her name's Mason. She was standing on the side of the stage and she goes, can somebody hold my glasses? I have to make a third character entrance. So she took her glasses off and handed them to me, and she's like, okay. And then she came into the scene full force, just high energy. And I was laughing so hard just at her commitment alone.
Yeah.
Like, you're brilliant. This is
That's
awesome.
awesome. And what style of improv do you find yourself leaning towards?
So we typically do a lot of long form. I think that's just a lot more freeing than short form. It gives you that creative ability to say, here's what's funny. This is what we found and what we discovered. Because when you're doing short form, you have those confines of like, this is the game. This is what's funny. Watch us keep doing the game, and it just gives you that freedom to like explore characters and explore worlds and really build something together with your partner. So
yeah, definitely. When you're doing improv, I always like to ask, what's the feeling while you're performing?
The feeling as in like, what am I feeling from just in general?
Yeah, like during the process of you, like in the middle of performance, what is that overall feeling that you get in performance?
So it's kind of like it's so weird. It's like a wave of emotions for me. So before the show, I'm really anxious. I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Yeah.
There's a lump in my throat. My heart's beating fast. I'm having anxiety.
Yeah.
The rest of the group's like, come on, man, this is fine. But there's that moment where you're behind those curtains and you can hear the crowd filling in, and you just get excited and you're just like, okay, this anxious energy is turning into we got this energy.
Yeah.
And I know that when I first get out there, usually what happens is I stumble over my first line. But once I get that first line out, that little mistake, it's like confidence. Yeah. So there's a lot of emotions that go through it. And then towards the end of the show, it's like, cool, I got it.
Right. Yeah, I always say I leave dignity at the door and then I just go and then I come back and I'm like, wow, okay, I did fine.
Yeah. Don't show me the video. I don't want to
see it. I never want to see it again. That's the whole point. We were talking about this with one of our teachers, that it was, she goes, improv is not meant to be recorded. It's meant to happen. And then it happened in the moment and it was beautiful and you're never going to look at it again. And
that's why we do sketch comedy.
Right. That's a totally different platform, because she was talking about, going through Zoom and having to teach through Zoom. She had to record the performances for her classes.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, oh my God. She would always say, no, you're not supposed to record this. This is for you in the moment. And you're living in the moment. And then you let it go.
And there's something so true about that, because like anything that's online or anything that you like, even trying to watch your own performances back, it's like,
oh yeah.
I think I laughed a lot harder in the moment than I did, afterwards. So
yeah, definitely. Like when you play in the moment, it's like that's your highest peak of emotion as well, and it makes sense in that moment. And then anytime we would look back at some of our stuff, it's like, ooh, well, I was funny at one point. It turns out when I record it, it's not so funny.
Yeah, just keep the cameras off. We'll all be fine.
Yeah, we'll all be great.
Do yourself a favor.
Never record yourself.
Yeah, forget your SD card.
Yeah. So during our lovely panoramic that hit for a very long time, what were you guys planning during that time? Because you started right before.
So
did you do any activity kind of thing during that time?
We tried to do like Zoom. I just feel like Zoom didn't translate very well. Zoom doesn't capture that magic of improv. So for me, everyone's like, let's get on Zoom, let's do it. And I'm like, okay, go ahead, you guys. I'm gonna take a break. So I really took a break and reevaluated myself and what I really wanted within the community. Because the improv community can be weird sometimes. There's like cliques or little pockets of people that you don't fit in with.
Right.
So I took that time to reevaluate that. But as a group, we just stopped. And I even contemplated quitting during the pandemic.
Oh, wow.
Just because I just wanted a break and I felt like I wasn't getting the joy from it. But like I said, when I called the Gateway Center for the Arts and we booked that show, it was like, all right, it's go time. You got to push forward. And I find like with the art form, you just have those moments where you're super inspired, and then you have those moments where you're super down, but you can never truly appreciate those moments where you're super inspired if you don't have those down moments. So
very true. Yeah.
It was a good reflective period for us.
It's always good to have those moments of like stopping and seeing, where am I right now?
Right.
What's happening? And then you move forward from there. Like there's nothing wrong with saying, wait a minute, what's going on right now?
Like, do I really fit into this? Am I
right
fit for this?
Yeah. I mean, whenever Angelica and I'll start like new projects within the company, it's like, okay, hold on. Do we want to do this? Do we want to start this roller coaster right now? It's like, yeah, okay, we're good. And then we go along with it. But having those like very long meetings of yes or no definitely help out. I'm going to ask you some taco questions now.
Oh, bring them on.
Okay.
I love food.
And Joko has started doing this during stuff, which I end up editing in. Nice. Let's normally with taco questions, I might ask you what your favorite taco is, but we're gonna do it a little bit differently. Okay. I want you to describe to me your perfect taco as a film noir kind of moment.
So just like black and white smoking a cigarette kind of taco.
Yes.
Juicy, crunchy. Am I doing this right?
Sure.
Savory. How was that? Was that good?
That was great.
I'm like,
anything that goes inside your taco?
Nope, just the shell.
Just the shell. Beautiful. That's great. It's gonna go black and white. A little bit of jazz music will go underneath. It'll be great. That's awesome. So with life being like a taco, your crunchy shell being filled with many different things, what would you say in your life is similar to a taco?
I would say relationships.
Okay.
So this is gonna get deep for a second, but like you can't have too many, but you also can't have enough. Some of your relationships are fragile like a taco. Some of them are hard like a taco. Some of them just don't work. Some of them don't taste good. Some of them taste great. But no matter what, there's always Taco Tuesday. So you always need relationships.
Facts. That was a good one.
Right?
That was a good answer.
And also, tacos can be hit or miss sometimes, just like relationships. You learn from like, don't eat at Taco Bell at 3 a.m. or do.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you, but you have your preference on relationships and tacos.
That is awesome. That was dope. Cool. So if I didn't know you, walking down the street, what can't I tell just by looking about you?
That I'm super rich.
Nice.
I guess that I'm kind, because I guess sometimes I get in my zone where I'm like, just
total RBF.
RBF or like being spastic, you know what I mean? But like, really underneath there, it's all good intentions. So
yeah, I feel like that's a lot of improvisers. Like we tend to be like very bing, 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 and then it's like, but I love you.
Oh yeah. We had a rehearsal like that yesterday where I was like, whoa, guys, we got to stop talking. I love you guys.
Yeah. It's a lot of students when they first come in, or even like our corporate clients, will go into a bunch of suits and we're like, is this going to sound very hippy dippy? But this is a very safe space, first of all.
Yeah.
We're going to lovingly do these things, and we're going to appreciate every gift that is given. Cool? And they always end up going, oh yeah, okay, I didn't know it was this kind of experience.
Yeah, I thought I was going to get berated and fired.
Right? If you had any advice for anyone who wanted to get into improv or our world of the arts in general, what kind of advice would you give a newcomer?
I would say just to do it. Jump in full force and give yourself the opportunity to truly be yourself. Mm-hmm. And treat every relationship that you come across as gold, because everybody has something to offer, not just in the scenes, but like making connections with people. I've just come to find that there's always somebody you need for something. Mm-hmm. And when you're kind to other people and you give to them, they're willing to give back to you. So come into it with an open heart and jump into it knowing that no matter what, somebody's got you.
Yeah, 100% improv.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would lastly like to ask you if you have anything that you want to promote or anything like that, any social media so people can stalk the heck out of you. Yeah, sure. Anything like that, just go for it.
So we do a show called The Comedy Chaser over here in DeBerry at the Gateway Center for the Arts. We do that once a month. It's 2 stand-up comedians that come in and do incredibly hilarious sets. And we follow that up with some improv that's inspired by their set. So once a month we have that. Our social media account is Subject to Change, SUBJ to change, because somebody else had it first. But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on here and for doing the interview. We are always excited to find other people in Florida because, there's not that many in Florida that are groups. Yeah. So we really appreciate you coming on here, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was a great experience. And I'm happy to have a connection with you guys.
Yeah. Anything that Dylan has mentioned will be linked in the description down below, so you can definitely find it at any time once this gets posted up. I want to thank you guys for joining us on another episode of Talk About It Tuesday, you beautiful creatures. If you would like to take any improv classes in Central Florida, definitely go visit Subject to Change. If you guys are in South Florida, you could go to www.thisisimprov.com. We teach in-person and hybrid classes, so you can join us within our classes through Zoom as well. That is for kids, teens, and adults on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we have our historical and ghost tours here in Davie, Florida. So you can go to www.thisistours.com. If you can't travel down, you could definitely listen to our podcast, which talks about histories, mysteries, and ghost stories of Florida, called This is Legends of Yesterday. I hope you guys have a wonderful, beautiful, and glorious rest of your day. Thank you, everybody. Goodbye.